Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I'm answering a question that I saw in an SEO forum about syndicated content. And the question goes something like this. We work at a car dealership and we have 5 or 6 different sites that are specific to each location, and we're creating content for each of those. But would it be okay if we take one blog post and publish it on all 5 of these sites separately? Would that be okay as far as publishing content? All right, I can tell you from multiple experience with this that's not something that you want to do, but there's a couple of reasons for this. Now, what most people think that's going to happen is you're going to get a so-called duplicate content penalty, but that's not actually the reason that you want to avoid doing this. If you're syndicating content or redistributing content on a whole bunch of different sites all at once, Google, how it works is they're going to pick one site where this content appears and rank that above the rest, and the other ones it's mostly going to disregard. And you can see the video that I did. I'll put it here, or I'll put it here. I'll link it up, the truth about how duplicate content works. If you have duplicate or copied content, Google is going to pick the site with the most authority and rank the content from that particular site or the page that has the most authority. Usually that's determined by the backlink profile. So the site that is the strongest link profile is generally going to win when it comes to duplicate, syndicated, copied content that's being distributed over a bunch of sites all at once. Now, obviously the exception to this would be press releases where it's the exact same article redistributed on a bunch of sites. We're talking about content though. My advice would be try and come up with something original, or at the very minimum, rewrite the article that you have. If you plan on using it 5 times, try and have 5 different people write that same article or rewrite it 5 different ways. And I don't mean just changing like a word or two here or there, but try and summarize it in a totally different way. But the best thing you could do would be to actually create original content for all of these sites. Also, this extends to if you're redistributing articles from somewhere else, which you don't want to do because of a DMCA takedown. You might get hit with a DMCA, which is a Digital Millennium Copyright Act, where you're forced to take down somebody else's content that you're distributing on your site as your own. Even if you put a link back to the site, and if you say like we borrowed this from somewhere else, other sites might not like that because they actually paid to have somebody write that content and put some effort into it. Hey, look, I know that content is hard to write. Writing articles, writing resource pages is difficult. That's kind of the point. Google will reward sites that have good original content, or even if they're referencing some other content that somebody else made, if they're adding extra interpretation, diving deep into it. I'm trying to think of the words here, but basically more analysis of that content. That's the thing that they've said actually very recently. You go back to that video that I talked about before. If you're adding extra context to that previous content and you're adding something extra on top, then people find that valuable. I would, ask you to do that, the same thing with this content that you're distributing. So that's the best advice that I have. Hire another content writer if you need to expand your output, but don't take the cheap, easy path of least resistance, not putting a lot of effort into this. We're just going to do this because it needs to be done. We're just going to copy and paste everything. Try and avoid doing that because it really just, it's not going to make your brand stand out anymore. And I feel for you if you have 5 locations and you have to distribute the same thing. But in reality, Google's just going to pick the site with the most authority. So it might be the very first site that was created in this network of sites will probably have the most authority. And that's going to be the one that Google chooses. So I hope that helps answer this question, and I hope this gives you some insight if you're considering doing this. My name is John Locke. My business is Lockdown SEO. If you have a question, put it in the comments below. Hey, if you got value out of this, if you want to see more content on SEO and have more questions answered that you didn't even know that you need to ask, go ahead and hit subscribe, give it a thumb up on this video. It helps YouTube's algorithm figure this out and suggest this channel a little bit more to people who might need it. Well, that's all I have for now. And until next time, peace.